Welcome back. Steve Price in for Peter. Should be back with you tomorrow night. Now, the Allen government is facing rising community anger over the new laws which allow power companies to basically force access onto properties in preparation for construction of this thing called the VNI West project. Peter's talked about it a lot. I've talked about it on the Friday show a lot. That's the major transmission line. It's a massive project which is being built to link up renewables developments in Victoria and New South Wales. So it'll connect the two states, and they need to be brand new lines. Last week, Peter was joined by sheep farmer Ben Duxon, who had this to say after farmers went out and blocked VicGrid workers from forcibly entering their properties.
We've been in this fight for 3 years. They're trying to bulldoze their way through our farms out here. The locals are fed up with it. We've always pushed back on it, and we're continually to push back. We'll stand with fellow farmers, with the community, with every energy consumer in Australia, every taxpayer in Australia.
I watched that interview. What a ripper bloke Ben is. Joining me now, the member for the Mallee Nationals MP, Ann Webster. Nice to see you again. What are you hearing from locals on the ground like Ben? I mean, he made it pretty clear there that they're not going to unlock the gate, they're going to stand in the way. That means they could face massive fines, Anne, and even jail time under the Allen government's legislation. Isn't that not right?
Oh, look, it's absolutely outrageous. I spoke with Ben today, I spoke with several other farmers today. They are actually buoyed. I know that might sound strange, but they are buoyed by one another's support. Farmers are standing alongside farmers. They are strengthening. They've got people ringing up from Melbourne saying, we want to come and stand with you. And I said to one of them, I said, you know what, it actually makes me proud to be Australian. It makes me proud that you as food producers and fibre producers are standing together and wanting to protect what is so precious to Australia, our food production into the future. The Victorian Labor government has been atrocious. There is not a word that could describe that government and the way they have bullied and intimidated and harassed these farmers. And today I heard from many of them telling me that when VicGrid turn up at their gates, they are standing there wanting access. The groups say access denied. There is nothing that VicGrid can do about that until there is a court order that permits them to go onto the land. They don't have that court order, so they have to go away. But they stand there with their body cams on and, you know, just pressing and intimidating farmers. I find it appalling. This is 2 weeks out from harvest. 2 weeks. What kind of biosecurity mess are they going to be leaving behind if they go on to these properties at this time?
What's your gut feeling about what a court will do when these power companies turn up asking for a court order to give them access to a property that a farmer doesn't want them on?
Well, I mean, ultimately it will end up with, inevitably, police arrests. At the moment, the police really don't have anything to work with from what I'm being told. And so I just think we're entering into a very murky place in Australia's history and in Victorian history. You know, you spoke earlier about Dan Andrews, and I just think that this is much the same, this bullying overlord kind of tactic by the Victorian government. They can't get what they want through democratic means, so they really form this bullying overlord behaviour. I can't describe it another way. It's really socialist in the way that they are treating producing communities.
And Anne, you and I both well know that local police in those areas are mates of the farmers. They drink in the same pubs. They play in the same footy teams. Their families live together and make up the community. Do you really think, does Jacinta Allen really think that she's going to set the local police officer against the local farmer who he plays on the halfback flank for in the local footy team?
Oh, look, it just goes to prove, Steve, how out of touch the government is. And, you know, when you consider that this week we have learned that asbestos is in the brake pads of 5% of the wind turbines that have now been rolled out across Australia, and when we were in government, we put a ban on asbestos being brought into the country. Does this mean that Goldwind, who brought those Chinese brake pads into Australia, are they going to be held to account? No, the government is too busy wanting to hold farmers to account. There just needs to be a rethink of what is actually wrong with this whole process and this whole rushed railroading of regional communities across Australia by both the Albanese government and by, in this instance, the Victorian government.
And great to catch up on. I know Peter will keep on that issue because it's very close to her heart as well. Anne Webster there. Now, some spectators